Hello, CD Bestie. Welcome back to CreativeDisc exclusive interview with me, Luthfi. And right now, we have a special guest because this is a very, very special guest for me because this is one of my favorite band from my high school years. Oh my God. Their debut album, What Did You Expect from The Vaccines, is really, really my favorite album of all time. And I listen to that album until now. And right now, they have a sixth album on their hand. So let's talk more about their newest album, their performance in Bali soon, and everything with Justin from The Vaccines.
Hey.
Oh my God, oh my God. How are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm good. That was a great intro. Thank you.
Thank you very much too for having me. Oh my God. So, what kind of activity that you are doing recently?
Oh, well, we've been touring the whole year, actually, like the whole year. And then the last couple of weeks, we've had like 2 weeks off to just do like nothing, basically. So we've been taking it very easy. And then on Wednesday, we're flying to Australia, doing some shows in Australia, and then we're coming to Bali. So we're very excited. And we're having a little holiday in Bali first as well, which will be nice.
Exactly. So, speaking about Bali, what did you expect from Bali?
That's a very good question. Don't really know what to expect. I think everybody's told us that the Balinese people are very warm and friendly, and that it's going to be super fun. But it's our first time playing in Indonesia, so we don't really know what to expect, but we're excited.
Oh my God. Is there any preparation from your side?
Not really, honestly, not really. I think that, you don't really know. I think every crowd in every country is different. And we sort of choose the songs that we think people are going to enjoy the most and are going to get the best reaction, are going to perform, the best show possible. And then you sort of, I suppose, react. It's once you get into the room and once you're playing in front of other people, that's when you sort of like tailor the performance and all that sort of stuff to your environment. So I think that you can't really prepare beyond what you do. We're pretty well prepared because we sort of, I like to think that we know what we're doing by now,
Okay. So before we start talking about your newest album, Pick Up Full of Pink Carnations, there's one thing. So I really like your old song, honestly, called Handsome, and the lyrics at the beginning of the song. I think it's very, very funny to me because I heard, I misheard like, oh, gado, 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 eat up on breakfast. And gado, gado itself is like an authentic Indonesian food. So gado, gado is Indonesian salad with peanut sauce dressing. And I think like, that's the fun fact for me because I heard like, oh God, I didn't know the word oh God until like recently. So I think in my head like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Okay. Enough with the fun facts. So let's talk about your newest album, Pick Up Full of Pink Carnations. So can you tell us more about this album?
Yeah, well, it came out in January, and it's an album we're sort of very proud of, very happy is out in the world. I think it came together pretty quickly. It doesn't always. It was our first album we made without Freddie, and it was actually it was a pretty sort of painless, fun, rewarding experience, really. The songs came pretty quickly, and the themes came pretty quickly, and the sonics, and we recorded it with Andrew Wells, a great producer out in Los Angeles in California, and just had a great time writing it and a great time recording it, and we've had a great time touring it so far. It's been really special.
Oh wow! So this you said before that this album is full of Los Angeles vibes, Los Angeles inspiration. Why that Los Angeles put a most special in your heart when recording this album?
Well, I was living there, so I was kind of living life there, and so I think wherever you're experiencing life, it finds its way into your music. And I'd recently moved there and was trying to find my place in the world or in the city rather. And I do like being able to listen to a record and hear where it's been made or where it's being, being experienced. I think it's nice when the kind of sonics and the sounds and the themes reflect that. And I'm sure you're the same, but growing up in the UK, all the movies we watch, all the music we listen to, it's like littered with these references to places like, California and stuff. So being there, I think putting that into your music is always, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like fun to live the stuff you grew up listening to, I suppose.
So what's the difference between living in UK and Los Angeles, on your opinion?
Well, there's more sun in Los Angeles. There's more rain in the UK.
What's hotter, in UK or Los Angeles?
Los Angeles is much hotter, yeah.
Okay, so when I heard this album, I feel that in this album your sound is brighter and more cheerful. But I think like the lyrics says otherwise, because I think like this is like one of the most darkest The Vaccines album in terms of lyrics, I think. So how do you guys achieve that? The bright sound, the upbeat sound with the moody lyrics?
Well, I think, you never want too much of one or the other. I think it's always good to juxtapose kind of hopelessness with hope and euphoria with melancholia and stuff. And there is a lot of sadness in the lyrics for sure, but I think there's also a lot of hope in the music, and ultimately it's quite a positive, hopeful record, I would say. And it is, I suppose it does explore heartbreak and heartache and all those sort of things, but most of the time that stuff leads to growth and discovery and ultimately more happiness. So I think that's the message, really, that all is not lost.
Oh, wow. I think like it's like I think like in this album, I think like it's your coming of your age album in the 30 plus year old, I think.
Yeah, you're probably right, certainly in some ways. I mean, I think every album is, in a way. Every album is a kind of, it's sort of a, it's yeah, I think every album is.
Oh, really do. Okay. So one of the interesting things, like you guys said like Love to Walk Away really describe the tone of this album. So why is that? Why is the track special?
Well, it was the first song we wrote for the album, and I think there's this period of time where you start writing for an album and you don't necessarily know what the album's going to sound like or feel like. And normally what happens is you'll write a song and then you'll think, kind of unlock. It's like the key, and it unlocks everything, and you suddenly think, oh, that's what it should sound like. That's what it should feel like. And I think when we wrote Love to Walk Away, when I wrote Love to Walk Away, I thought the first thing I thought was, oh, maybe we should, make a rock record. Really, it's something that sounds a bit more kind of rock than the previous record, and sent it to the band, and I think that was their kind of feeling as well. And I don't know, it just sort of it unlocked something, and then it kind of informed the rest of the record. So for the next few months, I was sort of thinking, oh, Love to Walk Away is the beacon really of light, and everything else sort of has to reflect how that, the themes there, the sonic themes, lyrical themes, all that sort of stuff.
Because I think it's very interesting, because I think like it's one of the shortest tracks, tracks on the album.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. So I honestly still amazed by your debut album. What did you expect from The Vaccines? It's really I don't know, maybe like it shapes my musical taste, honestly, on the high school. I mean, my high school years, I think like in my 15 or 16 years old. So if you want to, if you could tell us about that album.
Yeah, I mean, it was so long ago now, but it was it's an album we still, the majority of it we still play live, and so we still have a relationship with the songs, and every night you play them, they get a different reaction and they change slightly. So, they kind of veer away from the recorded versions, but it changed our lives really. And I'm sort of forever grateful for it, really. And yeah, it was just one of those albums that, or just what, it was very easy to write. It kind of just all the stars aligned for us. And it was also an album that was written, you know, around heartbreak and heartache, and yeah, I forever grateful to that album, really.
Because I think like your newest album, I think like it kind of like brings back the spirit that you bring on your debut album. I think like on debut album, I think like it sets everything on stone. I think on the Vaccines music.
Yeah, and I think there is definitely some of the spirit of the first album in this new album. Sure, I think you can kind of, yeah, it feels like the same band, definitely.
Yeah. So, what do you think? What do you think is the most significant difference between the era of your debut album and your current album now?
Well, the people making it, because, you know, it's like 13 years of life. So you've seen a lot of life, you know, you've changed a lot as people, and you know, the albums are reflections of who you are and where you are in your life, and they're kind of very honest,
Yes.
sort of I suppose accounts of that, and you know, the music you're listening to and the place you're living, and the person you are and the things you care about, and all that sort of stuff is completely different. So I think the music ends up being a reflection of that, I guess.
Oh, wow. So, on your opinion, how does the music scene differ from the era you debuted to now?
Well, hopefully we're getting better. You know, I'd like to think that we're better at our instruments and we're better at our art. You know, I'm better at lyrics. I'm better at forming songs and the intricacies and the nuances of writing and putting how you feel across. And you know, I don't think you make an album unless you think you can make it better than the last one. I think that's why you keep making music. So it's just like a process of refinement, really, I suppose, and you're just looking for new ways to stay inspired as well. I think every time you make, like I say, every time you make an album, you're inspired by different things, and you're in a different place in your life, and yeah.
So, this is very interesting from my perspective, because I know you since the high school years in my 16 years old, and right now you're still here. You are still making records. You are still making 6 records. It's amazing, because I think like many of your contemporaries have disbanded or changed their music direction, and you guys are still going strong with 6 albums on your belt and still consistently playing the same music for almost 15 years. I mean, like, how can how can you go through that? It's very amazing for me.
Well, I think you have to stay hungry and you have to want to keep doing it. You know, I think a lot of people stop wanting to do it, and I think we truly believe that we're getting better all the time and we still love what we do. And you know, I think if you still have that passion and you still have that hunger and you still have that drive, I think that's what, you know, it's not always easy being in a band, but when it's good, it's the, you know, the best job in the world, I think. So you just, you know, wanting that to continue for as long as possible, I suppose.
Well, but how to keep it hunger for 15 years? Because it's so long. It's very long, and it's very tedious process, I think.
Yeah, but I still haven't found anything I love as much. So
Ah.
yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's a very great mindset, because wow, I didn't expect like I interviewing the Vaccines in my near 30 years old. I think it's very strange for me, and it's very great to you guys to still in it, I think. Okay, so my next question, like if you had a time machine, what era that would you go and why?
It's very tempting to go back in time, isn't it? Especially
Yes.
when you're so nostalgic. But you know, I quite liked having an iPhone 15. So I don't know if I'd actually go back, but I don't know. Maybe, you know, maybe the 1920s would have been interesting to see.
Why?
60s. Well, I think, you know, after a great war, like, you know, after the Great War rather in Europe, like it was a time of yeah, I mean, a turbulent time in many respects, but then also a time of, for a small, there's often after big wars, you know, kind of socially things got a lot more like liberal and interesting and all that sort of stuff. And I think that would have been interesting to see. This maybe the 60s as well, you know, the birth of sort of pop culture, and or the 50s for the kind of birth of the, I suppose that's pop culture really, and the teenager, and our sort of concept of yeah, pop culture as we know it now.
The rock and roll stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay, so my next question is very a tricky one. You can answer it. So name 5 things we didn't know about the band, about the Vaccines.
Oh God, 5 things. Oh Jesus. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. 5
Maybe your
things.
favorite album, your favorite movie, anything.
I don't know. 5 things you don't know. Oh, I don't know. Arnie was a delivery boy for Domino's Pizza when he was a kid. That's I always think that's a good fact that he was
wow.
in his little Domino's uniform. I like that.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. It's my
It's
favorite.
okay. It's okay. It's maybe can we can trim it down to like three things, like you have 2 things that we didn't know about the band, or maybe about you. It can be your favorite album, your favorite movies.
What's my favorite movie? I do love Stand By Me. I think that's a great movie.
Oh wow.
What else? I mean, it's hard. I don't even know if I have a favorite album. I don't know how to answer these questions. Yeah, I don't think I do really have a favorite album anymore. I mean, it changes all the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite album of all time, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not very good at these questions, I'll be honest.
It's all right. It's all right. You said that this is interesting from me too, because I think like you didn't have a research, didn't all-time favorite album, because your music is always changing, your taste music is always changing, and I think like it correlated with your statement that you always hungry for to do things, and it's very very interesting, because I think like you are being consistent about the era that you are living in my opinion. I think the music itself, I think.
I hope so, and I think you have to reflect. I do think you have to reflect the era you live in, and you have to kind of live it, and you can't fight it, and all that sort of stuff. And you know, like I don't know. I think being being fascinated by what's going on around you is really important. I think you know.
Oh wow! What a great answer for me. So okay, this is my last question for this session. So what are you guys doing after this interview?
What we do? Oh, I have to. Well, I'm gonna go get a coffee. I'm still quite sleepy, and then
Yes.
yeah, and then not a very interesting day, to be honest with you. I have to pack because we're going on tour this week. So yeah.
Okay, so happy packing for you, and thank you very much for having me for this interview. Thank you very much. So this is Justin Yang from the Vaccines. So thank you very much for Justin. Thank you for this interview.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. So